Does self-improvement actually work, or is it all just bullshit? That's the topic of today's talk. Before we dive into the talk, I need your validation. So please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Please hit the notification bell. Please like and comment. All other platforms, love me, like me, say that you love me. All right? Back to the topic. Is self-improvement just BS? Does it actually work? You know, it's real in vogue in 2019 to hate on self-help. It's real cool to be kind of this nihilist, nonchalant, just kind of don't care about your life, just kind of blow wherever the wind takes you, pretend that nothing matters, pretend you don't care about money and success, think that people who want success are vain and losers and that it's all BS, blah, 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 And as far as those people who take that attitude, we can have a debate about whether or not self-improvement works, but people who kind of scoff at self-improvement and kind of take this nihilist approach to life, they're fucked. Their lives are not going to end up going very well. I can just tell you that right now. I see a lot of people who have basically kind of given up all personal responsibility, all self-reliance, any modicum or shred of looking in the mirror. There are a lot of people like that in 2019. And they're fucked. They think that someone's going to come and save them, and no one is. And I hope they're okay. I hope they're not too old when they have that rude awakening in their life, right? That was a little side note. But back to the topic. Does self-improvement actually work? I see the perspective a lot of people come from when they see kind of the mix of people who are in the self-improvement space. So sometimes you'll see, people in the advertisement, with their Lamborghinis, flashy cars, and they're like, here's my secret recipe to getting rich, making 6 figures in 6 weeks, making $1 million and all that stuff. And yeah, it smells fishy to you. Your natural instincts are to put your guard up towards that type of content. And rightfully so. Don't get it twisted at all. There are many people in the self-improvement space who are out to get you. Make no mistake about it. There are many people who don't do anything and then go ahead and try to teach you their course on how to get rich, and that's how they get rich, right? So throughout my own career, especially since I've always had a little bit of an imposter syndrome thing going, I'm always trying to prove myself, make sure that messages are based on things that I've experienced, things that I've actually done, and give a view of self-improvement that has some real context and not necessarily be the Lamborghini person. Speaking of, though, the original kind of Lamborghini guru guy is this guy named Lopez. And I think he's one of the people who actually gets misinterpreted quite a bit. It's funny. When I was dead broke and I had no money to my name and I was a loser and I was depressed and I was overweight and I was doing drugs all the time, it was Ty's course that actually got me on the right path. So it was a course that you would take for 2.5 months where there'd be a new video with self-improvement to help you reframe the way you think. And he did use the Lamborghinis and stuff to kind of draw you in, but he also talked about the power of knowledge and the power of reading and the power of taking information that's readily available to you and using it to create a life you want. And I did go ahead and buy that course. It was $70. And that $70 course changed my life. Learning self-improvement helped lift me out of depression, helped me find a new job, helped me increase my standard of living, get in shape, all of that. And so there are people who, regardless of the marketing tactics they use, they do have a genuine message. Take a guy like Ty, for all you want to say about his kind of obnoxious Lamborghini ads, the guy puts a ton of content out for free, a ton. And if anything, he's one of the best case studies in marketing and persuasion that you'll ever find. And part of the reason why he does things that way is because the message of, doing a lot of work isn't sexy. Most people are so lazy that they just want the Lamborghini. So people kind of use that to get you in the door, but then there is some real content in there. right? So I've gone through the process of sifting through kind of different personal development people, and some are good, some are bad, some are in the middle. You know, at the end of the day, you could watch YouTube videos all day for free. No one's putting a gun to your head saying that you have to buy self-improvement courses or go to seminars. So it's up to you. It's up to the options that you want to take to make your life better. And then aside from that, I've had many moments that kind of solidified the effectiveness of certain self-help concepts and teachers. For example, there's a guy named Ramit Sethi. He is a personal finance expert, business expert kind of guy. Funny enough, speaking of kind of spammy gimmicks, the name of his website is called iwillteachyoutoberich.com. You know, not exactly the most credible and trustworthy sounding site, right? But I remember one time he had this free guide on how to negotiate your salary and get a raise. I took the tips from his guide, spent about a couple hours working on the pitch to my boss, and thanks to his free content, I walked in and I got a $10,000 raise. Just like that. Just by taking the advice of someone who knew what they were talking about. I have taken courses on self-publishing. I bought a course for like $1,000, which I'm not one to share numbers, but I got a great return on that. I took courses on writing, not one to share numbers, but I've gotten a great return on it. So if you find the right people, you can do well with self-improvement. So what you have to do is just learn how to think for yourself, man, woman, person. Take everything that you read and take it with a grain of salt. You're not going to like everything one person says, and you're not going to like everything someone else says. So what you do is you take what you want and you leave what you don't want. So I have people that I look up to and I respect, but I don't follow 100% of what they say verbatim. Some things do rub me the wrong way. Some things that I don't think might be as effective, but I give it an honest effort to try things out and really think first before I judge. And just going back to the alternative, like the person I mentioned, the prototypical kind of, you know, soft nihilist that seems to be running rampant around in 2019, who just thinks self-improvement is for the birds. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? What is the other option aside from improving yourself? What are you going to do? What happens to things that stagnate? What happens to people who stagnate? Their careers level off. Their bodies level off. Their relationships level off. Their whole entire life levels off, and you're just living in a plateau, going through the same cycle over and over and over and over again. Who are some of the only people who break out of the cycle ever? Because it's not a large number. People who focus on self-improvement. I remember one time I was folding laundry at the time at my girlfriend's house at the time. And this is at a time where I was broke. I was kind of depending on her for money, everything like that. And I was watching a Jim Rohn talk, and he said, 5 years from now, you will arrive. The question is where? And at the time, I had no tangible reason to believe that my life was going to get any better, but I was just kind of listening to him, and he just spoke to me, and he really got in my ear, and he's like, 5 years from now, you can end up in a totally different place. It's been about 5 years, and wouldn't you know it, my life is about 1,000 times better than it was 5 years ago, because I looked and I didn't see any other way to get out of the hole that I was in but to improve myself. I knew society wasn't going to do it for me. I knew other people weren't going to do it for me. I knew that the only person who could change my life was me. So self-improvement was the only answer. So the answer to is self-improvement, does it work or does it not? It's a trick question because you don't have any other option. All right, thanks for this. Thanks for this talk. You 2.0 on Amazon, You 2.0. Like, comment, subscribe, love me, improve yourself. You don't have a choice.